welcome to IYRTalks. The way Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau handled this whole issue of wantonly trying to provoke and get into a confrontation with India shows and exposes two aspects. First, the Western imperialistic attitude that we can do anything, but you can't react or retaliate. I can harbor extremists, I can harbor terrorists. They will keep on needling India in terms of organizing terrorist activities within India. We don't take any action against them. And if by any chance any harm happens to them, it's your responsibility. This looks to be broadly the way this man is trying to present his case. Second important point that it throws up is how the internal politics of the Western countries in future are likely to dictate the foreign policies of those countries. This has happened now in Canada. It may tomorrow happen in America. It may day after tomorrow happen in Britain as well. Highly organized, small minority concentrated in one or two provinces, part of them, not all of them, part of them lending support to extremism, are able to influence the foreign policy of Canada. Let's just see the history how Canada has been dealing with these extremists. When Kanishka aeroplane was bombed, if they are not able to identify and fix up those who are responsible for them and give them punishment, what sort of a state is that and what sort of an administration they are running unless it's done deliberately. But with reference to Nizar killing, they are able to throw up all sorts of irrelevant evidence and then say India is responsible. The way he has unnecessarily tried for a confrontational attitude towards India shows either he is sick in mind or there's some other ulterior motive in the whole thing. Western countries have become the shelters for anti-national activists of some of the developing world. There's no doubt about that. And they encourage them, they assist them in the name of freedom of speech, etc. If it is a dictatorship, a military regime, there are freedom fighters fighting against them. You patronize them, one can understand that. But in a democracy where the will of the people will prevail, where elections are held regularly, and there are opportunities for any of these elements to express themselves to a democratic process. If somebody says, no, I want to dethrone the democratically elected government and want to establish a separate country by violence, by military might, etc., and you give him harbor and then you give him shelter, you encourage him, and when he does some anti-national activities in India, you turn a blind eye, and what sort of a impression you are giving globally? This is a question that not just Canada, America and all these countries need to ask themselves, because it's not just confined to Canada, it's also equally relevant for America. Either it is Punnun or Niger or whoever it is, the type of statements they are giving, highly inflammatory statements, and the activities that they are organizing within India in terms of terrorist activities. And still, even when evidence is presented, neither of these countries is taking any action against those terrorists. And in the name of freedom of speech, give them full support. I think it's not being done accidentally. It's as per a design. They want this actually. They want India not to grow. They want destabilizing factors and fault lines to develop so that they can encash on them and keep the countries under their tight control. So this broadly looks to be the approach of most of these Western countries. But coming specifically to Canada, when you keep harboring such people and they do anti-national activities and we present evidence to you, you don't act on that. And now, on the contrary, you concoct all sorts of stories and make the Indian administration responsible for something which happened due to some gangster war. And you want India to take responsibility. It's ridiculous. I'm very happy government of India has responded the way they should for such a ridiculous and outrageous charges that Justin Trudeau has, in his wisdom, thought it fit to bring against India. And it has hit a new low in terms of the relationship between both these countries. What are going to be its implications? Yes, there's a lot of adverse effect as far as India is concerned, because today, after America is putting a cap on immigration, one important destination for Indian students has become America. So Canada, a lot of them are going there for their studies and also getting permanent citizenship there and living there. So that channel may get close to a number of people because of this confrontation, as long as it lasts. To America, all said and done, Canada is a very wealthy country. It has a lot of pension funds, a lot of amounts, and then vast territory with a lot of resources. So, in a confrontation, yes, those pension funds coming and investing in India will become, to that extent, a problem. So that will definitely affect the Indian economy at large. But then you can't help it. If somebody takes that type of an attitude, he has to be shown his place, and India has to assert its right to defend itself and protect its territorial integrity. There's no question about that. And that's exactly what India is today doing. The only hope is this chap, Justin Trudeau, is already an unpopular leader in Canada. He has started losing his base. In all probability, in the next election, he's going to lose. A more sensible and more friendly government may come there, who may handle this sensitive issue with care. The sensitivity needed for diplomatically bringing it to a fruitful conclusion, while at the same time promising India to take action against the extremist elements that are operating from Canada. Thank you.